we're going to talk about something so simple,
So complicated?
at times.
I don't know, I've noticed that half and half is with us. Sometimes it's complicated, sometimes it's simple. We never go into the middle ground.
Kind of.
Well, I guess today
is kind of in the middle ground, yeah, but I still think it's a little bit more to the simpler side. Today is the first time that we're going to do our podcast in this format. So today's podcast is somewhat of a Blitz podcast, which means that we're going to have multiple topics, which are a bit shorter. A bit shorter, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, they will be a bit shorter. We'll never know if we're going to
just stick to one topic.
Yeah, but knowing us, we're going to most likely get off rail and then come back.
Yeah, as we always do.
Yeah, as again, it's summer, it's...
yes, it's very hot, and we're sorry for the noise that you're going to hear in the background, but I don't have an AC in my room, and a fan is our only salvation. So,
yeah.
Well, the first topic is breaking a habit easy?
Yes and no.
Yes, I think for me personally it depends on the person, it depends on how much willpower you have, because as we know, in order to break a habit, a certain amount of time has to pass, and so your body can adapt.
It's not just your body, your mind has to adapt as well. Let's say to break a bad habit like biting nails or biting your lip, which is a really bad habit. It does take, I think, at least 10 days.
Yeah.
To mentally adapt to your brain that what you're doing should not be done.
Yeah.
But I don't know how actually to break a habit. So for me, it was biting nails. I always used to have little wounds on my fingers because of biting nails. Up until this day, I'm not able to break the habit. But I've learned one thing, having my nails done and having them grow and them looking decent.
Yeah.
It's one thing that makes my brain think that I should not bite my nails because it will not complement the polish that I have, the design that's on my fingers.
I never knew you had that habit. I've never seen you bite your nails.
That's because instead of, this is why I do my nails, so I'll trigger my brain to not bite them.
Yeah.
So it will, I won't have the small wounds. The other thing that I did was I used nail clippers instead of my teeth. First, it's bad for the teeth. Second, it's bad for the skin. But then I haven't broken it completely.
Yeah.
I still do it, but with the nail clippers, and it's not that bad. I don't have so many wounds, and it's one way to. It was one of another solution that I have found for myself to break this kind of habit.
Interesting. Well, I've never had that problem while growing up, and I think for me, my bad habit is actually smoking, let's say. Smoking. Yeah, because I've never had one of those, let's say, biting my nails or biting my lips. I mean, I do it, but it's not because of a habit. I mean, I can bite let's say the dead skin.
Yeah, this is why actually,
if it annoys me.
This is why I always tell everyone around me not to bite their nails. because when I see someone doing it,
You want to do it.
I want to do it as well.
Yeah.
And this is why I try to make everyone around me stop biting their nails. It's a bit selfish, but it's good for both people.
Yeah. Well,
But smoking is,
smoking I think is another.
yeah,
It is a bad habit,
it is.
but I've heard multiple stories around quitting that habit. I mean, I've heard stories of people who just decided, I'm not going to smoke anymore. They threw out the
Well,
box, and from the next day onward they never smoked again. And then I've heard stories about people who gradually stopped smoking. And so I guess it depends on your willpower.
Maybe with the people that, in smoking in particular, the people that decided all of a sudden to just quit and stop, is one of the reasons might be they just their organism had enough.
Yeah.
Because we do know that the nicotine,
Yeah.
that is the addictive part. That's not a bad habit for me. Smoking, it's kind of an addiction.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know people that have tried to stop smoking, and I literally just wanted to put a cigarette in their mouth because they became not irritating to themselves, but to everyone around them. They became kind of aggressive.
Yeah.
So this is one of the habits, or this is why I'm saying that smoking is not a habit.
It's an
An addiction.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but still it depends on your willpower. I mean,
True.
if you yourself decide that you don't want to do that anymore, you're going to stop it, and you're not going to have like those side effects of being more aggressive or something like that. So I guess they kind of wanted to stop. I mean, the people that you're talking about, they kind of wanted to stop, but not fully.
Not completely.
Yeah. It's not something that they truly wished to
do.
Yeah.
Maybe it is so, but still, I'm not sure though. I'm not sure if smoking is a bad habit or an actual addiction.
Well, I think it's a bit of both, because it is an addiction, but yeah, but when you stop it, I've seen people who had quit smoking, and they still wanted to do something with this motion, which this could be considered somewhat of a habit.
This is a habit, yes.
But the smoking itself is an addiction.
Yes. What do you think other habits like? And apart from having willpower, what do you think is plays part in breaking the habit? I mean, it doesn't have to be like a bad habit or something. Let's say,
Yeah.
for example, I'm actually thinking that like relationships. Let me explain. You are with someone, you break up, but then you have been with this person for so long, and then this person decides to come back into your life, and you go for it. Does it relate to the emotion or the habit of being with this person?
Interesting.
So
It's really interesting, but in that sense, why did you break up? Because there was something that was annoying you,
obviously.
or because the emotion was gone? Because for me personally, if all of the emotions are gone, then basically there's nothing
But
that
the habit.
is nothing that would make me want to be with that person again.
But if you have been with this person for so long, and the emotion.
What does so long mean? How
Well,
many years?
Well, let's say 2 or 3 years.
2 or 3 years I don't think are enough to build that kind of a habit. I mean, let's say for our parents,
Mhm.
it could be considered a habit because
depends.
they have been together for, my parents at least have been together for 20 years. 21 years.
It
22
actually
years.
23.
22.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, it depends.
23 will be this summer.
So 23.
Oh my god, it nears, yeah, it's 23 years.
My parents just did their 30-year anniversary
Yeah.
in June. 30 years being with the same person. That is not a habit. Being for so long with one person, it's not a habit. For you to be with someone for that many years, because this is many years, 20, 30, it's many. It's not just a habit, it's more like kind of a cohabitation with mutual respect
Yeah,
for one another,
well,
with
yes,
friendship, with love, kind of.
Yes, but that's what I mean. That's why I think it could be considered kind of a habit. Not entirely a habit, but kind of a habit because when you've been with that person for so long, if you try to think what you would do without him,
Mhm.
and it makes you give up the idea of breaking up, or you know what I mean? Yeah, but I personally have spent 4 years of my life with one person, and even though it wasn't 4 years of constantly being in a relationship, when I decided that it was enough for me, when I was seeing that it was going to go nowhere, and I just said stop, and we broke it off. We continued to be friends, but nothing was making me think of going back in a relationship with that person.
Oh.
He was asking, he was apologizing, he was saying that he was changed. I was seeing that he was a changed person, but when the emotion was gone, nothing made me want to be with that person as in a relationship.
Mhm.
And that's why I'm saying that 2 or 3 years, for me at least, is not enough time to be perceived as a habit being in that relationship.
It actually depends on the person, because for me, one of my latest relationships was like for 6, I believe 7 months, I'm not very sure. And from the 3rd month onward, it was just like basically a habit of being with this person. No feelings, just being used to this person being around you, being your habit. And
Interesting.
it took 4 months, I believe, for me to break the habit. And relationship wise with another person, I do believe it takes more time to break a habit, instead of breaking a bad habit that you have created for yourself.
Yes, relationship wise, I think it is taking, I agree with you, yes, but still, even me, you know me, I'm a person that attaches really quick to something if I like it, and even for me, I mean, it takes time to stop thinking about the person, but it took me less time to stop wanting to be with him.
This is kind of breaking a habit.
Kind of. Yeah,
Yeah.
but But I guess I really in the roots of it all, for me it depends on your willpower and yeah, basically the willpower. Because if you really, really want something, you will get it done quickly.
True. And in order to persuade yourself to do something different, most of the time, I don't know if you do that. Me personally, I stand in front of a mirror and I talk to myself.
Yeah.
And this is one way to make me break out of the bad habits.
Yeah.
And
this is a smooth transition to our next topic, which is why exactly do we talk to ourselves? So we can say that one reason is, as you said, to break a habit. Another reason for me, in my opinion, is to gain confidence over something. To boost your confidence. We can say another reason to talk to ourselves or in front of a mirror is to practice for something.
exactly.
Yes, because I am a singer, and when I was little, in order to learn how to dance and how to act on stage, the best advice that was given to me was stand in front of a mirror and just do something. And when you find something that you like, just continue on doing that until it becomes a part of you.
Yeah. And
Sorry about that.
okay.
Yes, continue. I'm just going to shush my phone.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons for you to talk to yourself, but another one is that I believe not just to boost the confidence to get better at something, but sometimes you need reassurance and you need to hear it from yourself.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but sometimes my brain works that way. I imagine situations and I reenact them in my head, and I talk to myself, what would I do in this situation or that situation? And it gets easier to actually go into the situation.
Yeah. Yeah. Or even as children, it's a kind of to play. Now when I think about it, it's a very funny situation, but when I was little, I always had these visions in my head of kind of conversations, how they would flow and something like that, and I was always playing, like talking to myself, and I would talk. In my head, I would think what the other person would say, and then I would talk again, and
That reenact.
yeah, and there was this one time my mother came in my room and she was like, who are you talking with? And I was like, no one. And she was like, so you're talking to yourself? And I was like, yeah. And so that made me think, is it actually bad
No,
talking to yourself?
actually, it is good. You don't just hear your voice. Well, one thing is talking to yourself in your head,
Yeah.
which we all do all the time, even when we're with someone. Someone physically else,
Yeah.
because you always talk, you always have thoughts. But then there's the other thing, that to talk out loud, and it is not just. It's not bad. It just. First, it makes you hear your voice out loud. It makes you, let me explain it like this. When I have a tough situation to make, tough decision to make,
Yeah.
I talk all my points through out loud, and it's just, I hear them, I'm speaking them out, I'm hearing them, and then my brain it just goes through them one more time and helps me take a better solution
Yeah.
to that situation, because you're doing three functions at the same time. Yes, you're on your own, but and you talking to yourself, but it makes you take a better decision
Yeah.
in these kinds of situations. But in everyday life, it just keeps
It's
your
for-
brain
Yeah,
occupied.
and for confirmation, let's say,
Yeah.
recently I spotted how when I'm on the computer and I'm watching something.
Or you always talk back to the show or whatever.
Oh, but yes,
And no.
yes, and as well, if I decide that I want to stop doing that and go do something else, I always say it out loud. Like let's say, right now I'm going to pause you and I'm going to go and get a glass of water, and then I'm going to come back and continue watching you. Something like that. And it's like a
Yes.
confirmation of what you're going to do
What your
in
intentions
order.
are.
Yeah, and it's in order to
To make,
to convince yourself that you're
Mhm.
going to go and do it, and not.
especially when you're lazy.
Yeah,
Oh.
especially when I'm lazy. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it helps. It really does help to talk to yourself. Sometimes. I've been in many situations where, at home, I'm talking to myself, I'm making a decision, or I'm just blabbing about something.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm babbling about something. And someone walks in, my mom, and she asks me, "Who are you talking to?" I'm like, "To myself."
Yeah.
And there's always this response, "Okay, talk to yourself. Ask yourself questions, but don't reply to those questions, because that's dangerous." And I'm like, why would it be dangerous? But then she told me that psychology says that it's healthy
Yeah.
to talk to yourself and to voice out your opinions, the things that you're thinking about. So, as I mentioned, the brain deciphers them quicker, and
Yeah.
but
I don't. I. It's kind of like I don't want to stay in one position right now. I can't find my spot. Oh, okay, continue. I'm sorry.
as I was saying, that psychology says it's good to talk to yourself out loud or just in your head, so you can see your perspectives. But then, with the moment you start asking questions to yourself and validating those questions with answers, there is a small line to going into a different mental state and a different mental health issue. Yeah, and this has always been weird to me, but I really don't understand why is it so. I've actually never done the study on why, but that's just what it is said.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
when I talk to myself, I dare not answer any questions. Yeah.
Well, okay. Are we going to go into our next topic?
Sure. Why not?
Which is better, being a single child or having siblings? So we have 2 points of views right here,
Yeah.
which is you
Being the single child.
yes, and me having a sister, a little sister. So for me personally, I don't know. It's always better to have, well, not better, but it's always
Good to have someone.
it's good to have someone who is closer to your age. I
Mhm.
mean, there are siblings which have a large age gap, but most of the time it's not really a significant
Yeah.
age gap.
It depends on.
Yeah, me and my sister, for example, we have a 6-year age gap, and my cousins, my big cousin is 3 years older than me, and his brother is 3 years younger than me. So it's like We are
So they have a
spaced
12
out.
years difference?
No, they have 6 years as well. They have 6 years.
Ah. Oh, sorry, 3, 3, 3, 3.
Yeah, exactly. And we lived together, so basically I can say that I have grown up with three
Woman.
other siblings.
Mm.
Yeah, and it's always more fun because as I started saying, you have someone closer to your age that you can talk to. You might have the same taste, and so you're going to do a lot of things together, but at the same time there are times in which you wish to just stay by yourself and be alone. So yeah, I don't know which is better. What's your opinion?
For me, I've always, yeah, sure, I don't have any siblings, but I have never felt alone. Like, I do have my alone time, which I'm very thankful for. I don't have siblings. It's a different kind of an experience.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point of my life, I wanted to have a sibling. I wanted to have someone to talk to like to share experience with. But I have learned over the years that it's not necessary.
Yeah.
And sure, I wouldn't have minded having a sibling, but I don't mind being a single child as well.
Yeah. With having siblings, I think that you can say that it's a blessing and it's a curse.
Being a single child is the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter if you have a sibling or not. Life is a blessing and a curse.
Yes, exactly. And I don't think that there is a not a right answer, but I don't think there is any answer to this question.
Which one is better? Actually, both are good.
In their own way.
In their own way, because being a single child, as I said, has its own experience. You have your own experience, and then having siblings, you have your own experience.
Yeah.
They're totally different, but
yes, especially you always have the different points of views, the point of view of the older child and the first child, and the point of view of the next
generation. Kind of,
yeah. And you never know what's going through your sibling's head, as well as you never know what's going through other people's heads. So I guess it's just life.
That's true. Thinking like this actually makes me think, because if you're close to your sibling can always come to you, or you can always go to them and ask for advice, ask for just to talk.
Yeah.
For me, being a single child, I have always counted, yeah, sure, my mom is my mom, and we have a huge year difference gap.
Yeah.
And I have never minded to go to her and to share everything with her. I mean, kind of, it makes me think that maybe in some situations, because I know yours is not like that, having a sibling makes you more close to them than to your own mom. Well, in my case, my mom is my first best friend, and she will always be there.
Yes, exactly.
And I know it's like this for you as well. This is why I'm saying that there are some people that feel more close to their siblings instead of their moms. But for me, I've always, when I had a thought or something, I've always went to her, and she would always understand me.
Yeah.
And maybe this is one of the differences of having a sibling. Well, the other one is having to wear someone's clothes, and if you don't like yours, you can swap always, but I never had that chance, so I always wore what I liked.
Well, in my case, we can swap clothes too, because she is way skinnier than me, so...
Well, when you were little,
If you see her shorts are basically for only one of my thighs.
Well, actually, what I meant was like when you were little.
When we were little,
I'm sure
yeah,
when
but
you were little, your sister, your mom used to.
well, she tried making her wear clothes that I was wearing, but my sister never gave in to that. She always said that my clothes are old, even though they were looking like brand new clothes. They're just old. The clothes,
just because you wore them.
the clothes that are that were new that at that time, they were looking. They were a lot better looking, and it was just new. It was just new, and my sister never wanted to wear clothes that I have worn when I was little.
Yeah.
So it depends again.
I do know. I do know two sisters that they always used to share clothes. They used to always swap clothes. Swap clothes. Clothes.
Swap. That I don't know.
And yeah, they shared everything, but it actually depends on the person. Having a sibling and being a single child does not matter 100%.
Yeah.
Somehow there always is the personality as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And which one is better? I don't think that we can ever determine, because I think, as I've said, each experience
is different. Yeah. And I guess we can go over our last Blitz topic, which is, why is sleep important?
Beauty!
I love how only some of our Blitz topics can connect to each other, but we have this sleep topic which is like
out of nowhere,
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the point of a Blitz podcast. Topics which have mostly no
relation to
each other. Yeah.
But yeah.
So why is sleep
important? One of the things, beauty. I mean, getting rid of dark circles.
Yeah.
Getting rid of wrinkles.
Or mostly so you can function.
That is true. I mean, you can function with barely any sleep.
Yeah,
but not for a long
not
time.
For a long,
Yeah,
I mean, when you're young, you can go. I think you can go up to 3, 4, maybe 5 days without sleep. But
no, you cannot, because your brain just needs sleep.
Yeah.
Usually it cannot go more than 24 hours without sleep. Usually.
Well, yeah, but when you're young, I mean, if you're the age of, let's say, my parents, they can't go a day without sleep.
Sleep is important for mental health.
Yeah.
For your mental health. Sometimes sleep, for some people though, it's a way to escape reality.
Yeah.
And for those people, sleep is very important, and they are in their own world. As for actually body functioning, sleep is really important. So because without sleep, you can faint, you can damage your nerve system, your organs can stop functioning, they can just shut down. And the same way that you cannot prevent your body from food, water, or oxygen, you should not prevent your body from sleep.
Yeah. It's a needed break so that everything can function the way it has to.
Well, basically, sleep kind of restarts the whole organism.
System,
yeah, as a whole. while you sleep, all your organs slow down to the bare minimum, so so when you wake up, you can restart and function properly.
Yeah.
On top of it, I think that without sleep, you cannot think straight. You cannot.
Yes. Yes.
And science has proven that some people that don't sleep for a month, well, first their body slowly gives away and they can die from a heart disease, as well as their brain just starts making up images, and it just makes you see something that is not there.
That is not there yet.
And this gives you, scares you, which affects the heart, which affects everything.
Else. Yeah. And
Why do you think sleep is important?
well, I agree with you, and I think the same way. I don't think there is anything more that can be said about it. At least
From your perspective.
from my perspective, yeah. Basically, yeah, it's a needed break so that you can function.
How long was the longest period you have ever gone without sleep?
2 days.
2 days.
2 days,
Do
and
you remember what happened to you?
I was just very tired. I remember that I basically couldn't keep my eyes open. I couldn't stay. I couldn't stand up. I mean, I couldn't stay standing up for a long period of time. I had to either sit down or lay down.
Because your body just felt exhausted.
Yeah, it was just constant exhaustion and nothing helped.
Yeah.
And you know me, I don't drink energy drinks, I don't drink coffee, so basically there wasn't anything that could help me.
Yeah, to give you a
And yeah, I just laid down, and after 5 minutes it was snooze time. So I think I slept for at least 20 hours.
Yeah, I know. The last time that I went to without sleep, the longest period, it was 72 hours.
Yeah.
And it was okay until the second day and a half. I was kind of okay. I took energy drinks, something to keep me up actually. But then around and a half, 2 days and a half, I started imagining things, which is weird. Like, it was dark though, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It was night, and first of all, I'm afraid of darkness. You know it, never know what's lurking there. And my brain started to imagine things that weren't there, like flickering lights, something in the shadows, noises, especially noises. My brain decided to do that. I went to sleep. I slept for full 24 hours without even waking up to go to the bathroom or anything. And this is the last time I said that I will go that long without sleep.
Yes.
Because it's not healthy.
Yes.
It's not good for your body nor for your health.
Yes.
Mental health.
Yes, and for me as well, the only time that I will stay up and not sleep, and that's for 1 to 2 days, is if there is something really interesting that I just cannot
Stop watching or
stop
stop
watching.
reading.
Yeah, and if it is in order to restart my to adjust my clock so that I can
Wake up early.
and go to bed
Yeah.
semi-early.
Yeah. Well,
And I guess this wraps up today's babble, this Blitz babble. We hope you enjoyed it. If you have any thoughts regarding our
Any
four
topics.
topics, yeah, you can share them in the comments. We would love to read them. Our social media will be in the description below.
And as always, you can like, share,
Subscribe.
subscribe, and
We'll see you babblers next time. Bye!
Bye!